Hey folks, this is Misha, or Agent Agnes. You probably know that if you've gotten this far in the podcast so far. I just wanted to say we appreciate every single one of your listens, and we really hope you enjoy this fun little project we do, and we hope that you're having a fun time just kind of tagging along for the ride, and it's kind of, chaosy, if you know what I'm talking about. Just a little bit of info. If you like us that much and you keep listening every week, we'd really like it if you could like and review whatever platform you listen to us on. That really helps the algorithms for us to, just reach out to more and more people who might like the podcast. And you can find us on Instagram at Chaos Engine Pod, and we love to talk to you all. So if you wanted to ask us any questions or reach out, we have some giveaways sometimes. Just give us a follow there too. Kind of helps us know what we can do better and just to reach out to all of you. So thank you all for listening again, and have a great day.
We gather around here to talk about the only known survivor of Mission 2.
Yeah.
Well, unless Cody's going to bring back the Vulture, but of the OG crew. Misha is here.
I am.
We're going to talk about Agnes.
Poor Agnes.
Yeah, she's been through a lot.
She's got gumption. I'll give
she
you
does.
That. Yeah.
She's that she does.
I like how so frustrated she is. She's like, I just want answers, and then just gets shit on and everyone dies, and then she just runs.
Everybody thinks she's so in on it.
I feel so bad for her, but it's like I don't blame anyone for thinking she's in on it.
Right, no. I mean, yeah, coming from their point of view makes absolute sense.
It does. It really does.
So before we jump into what your home scene is, I wanted to ask you a couple questions about Agnes.
Yeah.
What have you thought so far about Agnes's transformation from Mission 1 to Mission 2? Did you have a specific arc that you wanted her to go on? Or have you had to, kind of pivot to what you planned? Or did you have anything planned or whatnot?
Not specifically. I think from when she started the first mission to the second mission, she had more naivete going into it. Because I kind of feel like she had, main character energy when going into it. Because she was like, I have to figure out this shit. I have to figure out answers on why my father was doing all that culty stuff. And she thinks that this is definitely the way I'm going to get these answers. And then just none of that happened. And
okay.
I kind of feel like she's more jarred now, seeing acid reflux die right in front of her. And being the only, sans Duffy, being the only one to, come out of this pretty much unscathed. She still didn't hit a breaking point. Yeah. Which is miraculous.
I thought we did hit a breaking point the last time.
Well, what happened was when she rolled to escape, I rolled a 5, so 5 mean that she panicked.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought you hit a breaking point because we had to talk about that, but...
No, I'm still 2 above breaking
Cool,
point.
perfect.
Yeah. But that might change this time because
it might.
I'm staying at home, so I got to roll those stats.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good, yeah, because I was asking Tyler and... Asking Tyler and Jake the same questions, kind of, post-mortem with what they're planning on doing.
Which I'm sure they have an excellent plan B going on. And I'm sure they were getting tired of their characters anyway. With Delta Green, you have to get tired of your characters at some point.
No, I think, I still feel bad for killing Tyler's character. It was purely a dice roll. It wasn't my choice. The other times have probably been my choice. It made sense that he was the only one kind of there.
He handles it so well, though.
He does. But with Agnes, it was kind of that situation where, you're the only one who made it out so far, and you're the only one coming back to the next mission. So,
right.
The other question I kind of wanted to ask you was not necessarily what your thoughts were on her transformation, but have you enjoyed growing as her as a character? Is there anything that's you wish you would have done differently in the previous 2 missions? Now that you kind of have a better view, or are you happy with the choices that you made with Agnes?
That's a very good question. I wish I would have practiced my southern accent a lot more before we started. I thought it wouldn't be that hard, kind of hard, because you can go really over the deep end.
Yeah.
Cartoony.
It's me and British, I just slowly become Australian with it, and then I can't pull it back.
Right. So I ended up watching a lot of Clint Eastwood movies.
Nice.
And I was like, I got this. No, don't go too far, Misha. But overall, I'm really enjoying going through the mindset of what her journey is, because I started out with Clarice Starling from Silence of the Lambs, and I think there's been so many divergent sections where she's no longer really that character anymore.
No.
Just like, because we stopped paying attention to Clarice Starling after Red Dragon was a prequel.
Would have been Hannibal, right?
Yeah, Hannibal.
The book Hannibal.
Like
she shows up in that a little bit, right?
Yeah. And so we don't really know what happens after that point in her life. And so this character, I feel, is just kind of a whole different character from what that is, because, I don't know, she's a little bit more, I don't know, crazy. Can you say crazy without, like, offending anyone?
I think so.
She's more manic. More I need the answers rather than a police officer, which I always, like, pictured Claire Starling to be. So...
Well, I think it was cool to watch. You definitely had that procedural viewpoint coming into Mission 1. Mm-hmm. And then everything that spiraled out of that, you definitely saw a different character in Mission 2. There was still the basis there, it felt like, but you definitely handled it differently. Whether you meant to or not, I thought it was great.
Thank you.
I don't know what was in your mindset going into the character for Mission 2 of how you wanted to act, but you did a very good job. To me, it felt like there was definitely a dichotomy of the characters.
Yeah, and it's a podcast. You have to make things interesting. So I try not to play her, like, too boring, but then again, like, she ran, like, 4 or 5, 6 times in the last campaign, so...
Yeah, but that's also, like...
That's what she would have done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta be true to the character.
Yeah, so. But she's gonna die soon, I'm sure.
We don't know we don't know the future yet.
We don't.
I don't even know what's gonna happen. That's why I plan as little as possible. Have a just... basic overview of what I want to happen, and then we'll just see what you guys throw at me. That's kind of how I roll.
One of these days, I'm going to pass an unnatural check. It's going to feel so good. It's going to feel so good.
I'm excited for that. I had another question for you that I wanted to... is there anything going into Mission 3 that you want to change about how Agnes approaches it? Like, anything that you're determined, like, I think she would become this way, or I think she might develop this type of, like, personality, or I don't want to say psychosis because that's kind of a negative connotation, but, like, is there any habits or anything that you're kind of want to focus on as we go into Mission 3 here with her?
I'm definitely thinking she's a little bit more manic, like previously.
Not like to Jim Duffy level, but
not quite, but on that road, definitely. Where I have, like, a little home scene stuck in my head. Like, I didn't write out, but I can describe it.
That's fine.
Probably describe her current mindset, where she is having those thoughts of like, obsession of, like, what the fuck is out there. I have no answers still, and yeah, definitely Duffy-esque behavior starting to form in subconscious areas of her brain, where she's like, you know, to the normal person, she can act normal still. She doesn't have to be, like, you know, have to act too much. But then when she's by herself, it's a completely different version of her, where she is just like, we'll get into it, but, like, her stay at home or stay on the case off period is going to be, it'll explain a lot of that, what her mindset is.
That's good. So I did have one thing that I wanted to talk to you about before we get into this.
What?
Talking with Cody, he had mentioned that one of Acid Reflux's last thing when he died would have been to send a text out to everybody to let them know to take care of his cat.
No.
Now, I feel that Agnes would probably be the only one who would actually follow through with that.
She would.
But I wanted to put that up to your character to make that choice and not mine. I had I don't know what you had planned for Agnes, because it's only going to be like 2 or 3 months at this point between missions. But I was going to pitch that maybe we open up with Agnes in her home scene at Reflux's compound, and she's, like, taking it over, taking care of his cats, feeding his chickens, kind of living off the grid. I'm assuming maybe Reflux would have left instructions on how to do everything down to, like, the minutest detail of, like,
I love that.
But I want to run it by you, because I haven't run this by Cody or anything either. It was just something that he had pitched. He had told me that he was going to do, and, like, it doesn't make sense for Duffy to do it.
No.
Vulture's not going to do it.
Oh, no. I love the Vulture so much, by the way, Cody.
And, I mean, and what's his name's dead? Strauss is dead, so the only one left to follow through on this was either going to be you or potentially West. And so I wanted to give you the opportunity, if that's something that you think she would do, to do that, or Or you go your own route. I don't want to make those character choices for you, but
So, fun fact, we didn't plan this. Cody and I did not make our characters together when we were making our characters, but I also put a cat as one of my pawns.
Oh, nice. Well, then, do you want to go with that?
Let's go
Perfect.
with it. She's a cat person.
There we go. I don't remember what Reflex's cat's name was, but
Juniper.
there we go.
No, I like it. I like it a lot.
So, okay. So I think we open up on that. We open up in Idaho. We see Agnes in, I don't think, maybe she's working from home at whatever. She's still going to be, it's only been 2 months.
It's only been 2 months. Like, in my head, I kind of pictured her just still doing desk jockey stuff, just filing paperwork, submitting reports.
How do you think she would pitch it to her job to work remotely from Idaho? What would be her excuse for not coming back? Because she was on the East Coast, if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah, she was.
So what would be her excuse to get out of this and, like, take up residency in Idaho? Is she going to lie about family sickness or something like that? Or
like sabbatical?
Yeah.
She could always, she has a really good humint, and she's really smart. I bet she could forge some sort of document like her dad or mom died, and she needs to take, like, a few months off.
Okay.
To plan the funeral in Idaho.
Sure, she has to go like take care of the estate, get everything wrapped up.
Yeah,
cool. I think that's a good idea. So like I said, I think we open up on Reflex's like cabin out in the woods. We see Agnes, probably in some sweats and a sweatshirt, kind of palling around, going out, throwing some feed to the chickens, going inside, petting the kitty. I don't think she'd have much use for his 14 screen workstation, but maybe she's got one open that she uses.
Just one monitor on because she doesn't know how anything else works.
Out of like the 6 that are there.
There's like so many walls of just buttons that she's like, I don't want to touch any of it.
I'm sure there is some database that he saved that will tell you how to do everything.
Okay.
Like, I feel like there's either a book or like an Excel or like a Word document or like a folder on his computer that's just like 1AA, like coffee maker, 1AB, like all of this stuff.
Just all of these Starbucks coffees in the garbage that she's never thrown away yet.
Exactly. And so, I think we see that. We see her there, chicken. I don't know how good of a typer she is, but she's typing away.
Oh, she's good.
Searching for stuff. And you want to stay on the case. Is that your plan here?
I think that was the most logical thing that she would do. Like, you walk into probably Acid Reflex's cabin, everything looks normal, and then you go into the bedroom and it's just like Pepe Silvio situation. Just strings everywhere, trying to attach, all the logical loopholes and just needs to figure out answers.
I'm going to go out. I'm going to make this character decision for you at this point. So if you don't like it, cool, throw it back my way, say fuck you.
I'll do it.
I'll tell you tough. I like the idea that you and West have given each other like personal numbers. Like you're no longer using Delta Green numbers. Like she gave you her phone number.
We're BFFs.
Yes. Not necessarily that she doesn't trust Delta Green and all of that, but those are like company phones. And so she gave you her number like off of company record.
I love it.
So I like that. That was kind of an idea I wanted to pitch for you too.
I love it. In fact, I didn't even tell him because I didn't know if you wanted to be a secret from him.
You're good. But I like this idea that you are keeping on the case.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And I'm assuming the case is tracking down Marissa Crest. And
yeah, fuck her.
So, okay.
Kill that fucking cunt.
I get to... You are going to reduce one bond by 1 as you let other responsibilities lapse. So what's that going to be?
Probably my college teacher because he was local to where I was and will no longer be. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to make a criminology or roll. So I got to get some dice here. 1 sec.
And when I said him, I was pointing at Cody. Cody's sitting at the table as well.
He is.
Hello, you can barely hear me.
We're going to be using my Vast Grim dice today.
Oh, that sounds deadly.
Yeah, it's like a Mork Borg in space.
There is a way that this roll can go bad.
So do you want criminology or occult? What are you going to roll here?
I'm going to... I should probably have planned this. I did do my homework. I just forgot. So criminology is 61. Occult is 10 base. So let's do criminology.
Okay. Here we go. So on a success, it means you uncover some pertinent clue of my devising. And especially valuable one for critical. Failure means you find nothing. A fumble means you think you find a valuable clue, but will turn out to be dangerously wrong. Either way, you suffer 1d6 minus 3 sanity to come into terms with what happened and observing it over. Let me try that again. Either way, your agent gains 1d6 minus 3 sanity and coming to terms with what happened, or in observing it over self-destruction if the roll means loss of sanity. So there we go. 61, you said, right?
61 criminology.
Here we go.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So you start digging in to Marissa Crest, and you're looking into her background, right? Like, what is your plan here to exactly try to figure out?
Let's see. Marissa Crest was the furniture store owner, and I guess the first thing I would want to know is she the leader, or is someone else controlling her? Gotcha.
Okay. So you start digging into all of this, and it's tough because, I mean, this is just a small town. She's just a small town girl living in her lonely world. Okay.
Aren't we all?
And if there was a midnight train to anywhere, she might have taken it. Hell, she might have taken it when she fled town to get away from y'all because you were going to murder her.
Still am, bitch.
That's called me stalling as I try to look up what the other character's name was to make sure I don't fumble this as I talk about this. But yeah, you start digging into it, and I think you find maybe a blog from Melissa Beck.
Okay.
Who was the good witch that you guys found dead. And you see that she's talking about just like general healing practices and stuff like that. Like what type of crystal to use to ward away this stuff, or what's good to sprinkle around your house to keep away evil spirits, and yada, yada, yada. All that made up bullshit that people believe. So, if you believe in that stuff and you shit on people for believing in religion, you are a hypocrite. I will say that now. You don't get to talk shit on people when you believe in make-believe stuff too.
No, that makes sense.
So,
can't refute logic.
No, I don't believe what you want. As long as you're not hurting anybody, I don't give a shit. And you find that she mentions there is a woman in town who leads a cult. Not necessarily a cult, but like an evil coven. And she's like, hey, just like if anybody's coming to town, like beware of the owner of like this, this business. She's not good. Ooh. She leads a group. So, I think you're able to find out pretty easily. Yeah, that actually Sharon Westfield is the leader.
Sharon Westfield?
Yeah. And then you start to kind of dig into it more, and she talks about how before all this kind of happened, like when Broodoo opened up was kind of when everything started getting weird, and like the book club started, and they started kind of gathering and all that kind of stuff. So you're able to kind of piece that together.
Okay.
So, and now we're going to roll for some sanity loss. Do you want to roll, or do you want me to?
Last time I said that, I rolled a 5, so I'm going to have you do it.
Okay. We're going to roll it out in the open here.
Yep.
Here we go. Roll the dice. That's a 1.
Still haven't.
You don't lose any sanity.
No sanity? I thought I lost 1.
No, it's 1d6 minus 3.
Oh.
So I don't think you regain sanity with a -2. No. So, you're good.
Fuck yeah.
You pass.
I was like so prepared to finally hit a breaking point.
I know, so was I.
Mission 3, still haven't hit one.
Mission 3, it's gonna happen. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I'm hoping.
Because I felt like Mission 2, since it was homebrewing, it's hard for me to put in scenes for losing sanity loss. And I think I have a better handle going into Mission 3 of handling sanity loss.
Oh, all right. I'm interested.
Been reading, I finished 2 books pretty recently that kind of changed how I want to approach Mission 3.
Mm-hmm.
Like this weekend, in fact, I read them while I was in Arizona. And reading them and going through and the descriptions in the books themselves, I'm like, okay, this is how I can approach stuff and make it weird and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was good. Yeah. So, yeah. So if you haven't read Roadside Picnic, check it out. It's very good. And Annihilation, the book is awesome.
Oh, really?
Completely different from the movie. Completely different, but fucking rad.
Oh, might have to look that one up then. Love the movie.
It's less than 200 pages. I think it's 195.
Oh.
I read it in a plain flight, essentially.
Oh, so they hobbited it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they definitely, yeah. Well, they're nothing alike. The movie's still awesome. Don't get me wrong. I love the movie. Movie is fantastic. But the book is so, like, nobody has a name. They're just the biologist, the archaeologist. Nobody has a name.
I like
because
that.
when you're brought into the Agent X, you don't have a name. You just, whatever your profession is, so you don't get close to each other. Really cool.
I
It's
like
very
that.
Delta Green-esque vibes, like as you like kind of go through the history of Southern Reach, which is the group that like investigates Area X.
Kind of reminds me of, what is it, Reservoir Dogs?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot like that. But yeah, so I like that idea. We see you kind of digging in and looking up. You find this information on Sharon, and I think if you start digging into Sharon's background, you see that she's got a sister in like Snohomish County. Let's say, Arlington. She's got a sister that lives on Arlington. Her parents are both dead. And she has a brother who lives in Maine, who is, I mean, he's already in his 70s, so he's pretty old at that point, because she was in her 50s, 56 at the same age. So, her sister in Arlington's younger than her. She's about 42. So that's what you're able to find. So I don't know if that's something like you'll reach out to them and try to figure anything out on or what.
Reach out to like West's personal phone or?
Oh, that's why. Well, how do you see her handling this information? Would she try to like reach out to the family and see like make up a reason if they heard from Sharon? Mm-hmm. Or how would she go about that, do you think?
I guess my next question would be if is West reinitiated back into Delta Green? Do we know that?
You don't know.
Can we ask West that?
I don't think she would talk openly about that. If you asked her, she'd be like, if you asked her anything, like if you hinted at it, she'd be like, I haven't heard anything. That's why they're going to text you get back.
From Agnes's point of view, I'm going to talk this out loud because it's a podcast and people can't hear my thoughts. From Agnes's point of view, West hasn't done anything to not have Agnes's trust. She brought them in from basically against Delta Green's wishes because she was worried about their well-being. She got shot on our behalf. She fought them off on our behalf. She's gotten everything that we needed, including information. Yeah, Agnes has no reason to not trust West at this point, especially with West giving her personal cell phone information. So yeah, Agnes is going to be extremely open to West about her knowledge.
Okay. And I think if you sent that to West, she would be like, let me check some channels, see what I can find out. I'll get back to you.
All right.
Kind of thing. So yeah.
BFFs. They're BFFs now,
They're
guys.
BFFs. Maybe she'll come spend a weekend out there.
Aww.
Just drinking wine, watching.
S'mores.
I don't know, does Agnes watch like Netflix or any of those like trashy dramas?
Probably not. She probably is just like a reader in a chair. She's an old soul.
Okay. She's not like Kardashian or
No.
Housewives or wherever the fuck.
She's like a main character sitting in a chair awkwardly reading a book like she's comfortable, but no one thinks that she's comfortable.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that kind of energy.
With Juniper in her lap.
With Juniper.
I love it. All right. Well, do you have anything that you wanted to go over?
No, like I planned out this like another stay home scene, but this one's like way better. So why even go over that one if it's not even gonna happen?
Hey, if you want to go with it, go with it.
No, it's basically it was sort of the same thing. It was like she was just going to be at work, and at the end of the day, like a bunch of people were going to be like, "Hey, come out to drinks with us," and she's like, "Oh, maybe next time." And they're like, "You always say next time," and then she goes into her apartment and turns on the lights, and everything is just like freak show. Stay on the case, like. Everything is tinfoil, aluminum hat, like going kind of out of it, trying to figure out this mission. That's kind of what I had planned.
I like it though. It works. It fits everything.
It works. It's not too far off. I like going and trying to figure out if acid reflux is bed is safe to sleep in. Like trying to wash the sheets, but not sure if there's plumbing in the house. Stuff like that. I like that.
I think there'd be plumbing. I think he'd have plumbing.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I think most of those cabins by now at least have like a septic tank or anything like that.
All right. I'll trust him on that one.
But
she's very confident that he had never slept with anyone in the bed, so she didn't bother washing the sheets.
Joke's on her.
That guy fucks.
Did you did all of your progressions or your ability points, right? As we went along when you failed one? You don't have any left over there to upgrade or anything?
No, I think I did it all.
Okay, good. I just want to check in on that, make sure you got everything you needed.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited for Mission 3.
Me
I think
too.
It's going to be very, very interesting to see how you guys go. I think we'll tie into a little bit of Agnes's background, too. I don't think we ever really openly talked about that, have we?
Not super much, yeah.
Let's go into it. Do you want to, you want to talk about it, or you want to keep it? So your dad, your parents or your dad was part of a cult?
Just my dad. So what I had in my head was it was like a parent trap situation. Like both the parents were together. They had twins. Mom took one sister. Spoiler alert. And then the father took another one and went to West Virginia. So yeah. He turned out to be batshit crazy.
There you go. I think there'll be underlying keys within the next mission that will probably affect Agnes in a way or two.
Sweet.
I'm also hoping that you can you'll get the movie references that I'm potentially going to go for.
Probably. I've only seen the movie.
Well, most movies that I do, or most games I do, I usually have like an idea spawned from something. Like, obviously, I'm running a home game that's like, what about Predator with Delta Green? Ooh. Or the game I ran previously for Tyler and them in the home game Delta Green was Hot Fuzz, but with ghouls. So like these ghouls had this well manicured area that they let people come and live in, but underground was like this ghoul colony.
Oh my god!
And so they kept putting out this amazing image of this town so that people would come there, and then they could just eat them and replace them.
I love that,
and just like keep like feeding that and feeding that.
I love that. That's amazing.
Which I guess it's also like Invasion of the Body Snatchers a little bit, but I was mainly going off of like Hot Fuzz, where it's just like there's this group of town leaders who are corrupt as bat, like evil shits. So I think I'm wondering if you'll be able to pick. I'm sure you will. Like, there's one I definitely want to hit, and I think once that happens, you will know automatically what it's from. Nice, because it's one of the better movies in the past. Like, I'd say probably 10 years. Okay, has it been 10 years? I think so. I'm old. I don't remember movies anymore.
I think the last Hannibal content was the TV show, and I think it's almost been 10 years since that ended. Yeah, like 6 or 7 years or something, or 7, 8 years. I think 8 years. Right,
time goes, man. Yeah. You just like lose it. I was like, it's a weird feeling.
It is a weird feeling. And I was like, you know how Facebook memories come? You don't know, you don't have Facebook, but like Facebook memories come up, and it's like 14 years ago you posted something, and I was like, I was a dumb fuck.
It does it with photos where it's like, remember this day 10 years ago. It's like, it's like, yo. No, right before Ricky's bored, it's just me like drunk out of my mind, doing something stupid.
Yeah, I don't want to remember all that. I remember posting something and I thought I was like really like lit and creative and like, oh, I'm so like individualistic right now. And then I was like, no, you a dumb fuck, Misha.
Yeah. I was talking with my buddy over the weekend when we met up because he doesn't drink anymore as well. And I was like, I can't fathom at my age having a hangover anymore. Like, I can't think about how just terrible that would feel to be just like, I'm not going to move because my brain hurts because I drink too much. Like, oof. I can't fathom that.
Nothing sounds more unappealing than a hangover at this age.
Right? Mm-mm. Yeah. Like, we went camping with Rick and them last weekend, and, like, Rick doesn't drink, or the weekend before, but Rick doesn't drink, but I was like, this is the prime, like, camping area to get drunk at. Like, everything's walkable, there's bathrooms, like, I'm sure people just get tanked here, just, like, be just giant assholes to everybody around them. But I was proud of us. We didn't do that. Yeah. We went on a ridiculously stupid hike, and it was very long. Yeah. I wasn't ready for it, but we got to the top, and we saw, like, I don't know what a flock of vultures is. I don't know if it's a murder. But there was like 10 like turkey vultures just like circling up top, flying around when we got up there.
It's always a good feeling.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was like, oh, there were hawks, and they got closer. Like, no, it's bigger than a hawk. And those got red heads. Like, those are vultures. I don't know birds.
I would want one. Call it my own.
There you go. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So, well, I'm excited to see how Agnes handles Mission 3. And we'll get into it here probably in a little bit. I'm interested to see how well everything gels once it gets going. But it's definitely, I think it's going to be a little bit different of an opening than we have done in the past two. Oh. So we'll see. All right. We'll see how I'm excited. Me too. So we'll see you then. Yeah. Bye-bye. Bye.